Not going to be on long. Yolanda, if you could resend that to me. Quickly, just want to share some things very briefly before you guys hop into the office. For those of you who have to be in the office, for those of you that get to be at home, thank God that you get to work from home. Coming to you from the ATL, now transforming it into a teen pregnancy center. And it will not just be a teen pregnancy center, we're going to be rotating from time to time, even bringing in uh, young adults that are being challenged with their identity and trying to, find their path or their way concerning their sexuality and their identity, and just to be a voice there for them. For the young girls that are making decisions about their unborn child, being the change we want to see, having a safe house and a place for them. And not just them, young girls that have been rescued out of trafficking. We got 34 beds here, so we got enough room for quite a few girls. Girls that have been rescued out of trafficking. Just on this last Christmas, we did a project with girls that were rescued out of trafficking that got pregnant, that were impregnated by their trafficker or by their John, by their customer, and decided not to abort their baby. So we did Christmas for the moms, for the babies, and did teaching things and stuff like that. So we want to go to the next level of commitment and change and provide a safe house. For those of you that are watching today, I'm not going to be on long, who are of the kind of genre, the kind of mindset, because I think what they say is three types of people. They're people that see things and talk about them and shake their head. They're people that do things that are the problem that requires the change. And then there's a third person that says, I'll be the change. I trust that I'm talking to this morning and in this 2021 year that we are not the people that are going to be much like last year. A lot of discussion and a lot of chatter went on about a lot of things, about Corona, about Black Lives Matter, about the elections, a lot of chatter about a lot of things. And this is the year, I believe, for a demonstration to not talk, but to do. I also shared with everyone that one of the things that the key thing I'd say that motivated me to pack up my bags, get on a plane for the first time, and since the pandemic happened, it had been a year I had not been on anybody's plane, and to come here to Atlanta and to do and use what I had in my hand. Because when the children of Israel were facing the Red Sea, which was very symbolic of an impossible situation, there was the Red Sea in front of them, there was Pharaoh behind them. Much like what we're facing today with this emerging generation, in a small window of time, they are and will be our future leaders. Some are already. So, whatever their value system is, whatever they're feeding on, whatever they believe their beliefs are, or their influence of the people around them, are going to see the things reflected in policy, in culture, in lifestyle, in entertainment, in education. So there is a way to really transform mindsets. There's a way to transform mindsets to reflect the kingdom biblical mindsets. I do believe that God allowed this last year where the COVID-19 hit not just our nation, but the world. I believe in what the enemy intended for bad. I believe that God used that to shake up the body of Christ and to begin to look at how we can do things from a different mindset perspective, to be more innovative, because I believe that everything and the way ministry was done prior to last year represented a particular era of time. I believe that a line of demarcation of 2020 and 2021, there's a clear line of demarcation that screams change, that screams you cannot just preach, teach, have conferences, seminars, gatherings. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do those things. Be very clear about that. I don't want anyone misrepresenting what I'm saying. But there is a different type of a need now. And I believe that perhaps I'm just dialoguing here with you. You can text and talk and comment back, that maybe we haven't been listening as much as we need to listen to what the screams are, to what the cries are, to what the needs are concerning this generation. I do know this, that it is not a generation that can be reached or discipled or changed by preaching only, by teaching only. They're not a hearing generation. They are a sight generation, meaning it's what they see. It's not what they hear. It's not what you preach. It's not what you say. It's what they see you live out every day. Are you consistently living out what you preach every day? Do they see a continual disciplined lifestyle that's reflective of what you preach? So if a person is, one day they're in the church, and then the next thing you know, they're in a relationship with somebody, and then they into this kind of lifestyle, and then next thing you know, everybody's like changing what they believe to accommodate that person's lifestyle, and then we tell an accountability to them, and then they don't see people in leadership that's accountable to anybody. One of my friends yesterday, Carolyn Kelly, was saying that, she works with a lot of Generation Z and millennials and those like 40 and under. And she says, this generation, you have to earn the respect, so to speak into their life, or to correct them or speak into their life. They don't just take correction like we took correction. And I immediately called Brandy and said, Brandy, guess what? I said, did you hear what Carolyn Kelly said? I was like, because I run things past her and Terry and the rest of the group. And I said, Brandy said, true. She said, yep, she got it. So just think about it. All of these ministers and preachers thinking that on Sunday, when you preach, that they not only are getting it, but intend to do it. When in maybe some cases, they're not seeing a coupled demonstration, a coupled correspondent action to what's being proclaimed. So now let me give you an example. Why am I here? Why am I in Atlanta? Because when I looked at January the 6th, as I said, the siege on the Capitol, people that really believed that they were fed up enough, that they really believed that they could go and break into the Capitol, whether it's inside job or not, and all these other theories, and people believe that's not where I'm going with this. I'm staying on this page right now. That what I saw was so many groups, not just represented on January the 6th, but even during this last 2020 year, with the march, with Black Lives Matter, with the injustice of George Floyd, with so many extreme radical groups that are saying enough is enough. So you've got young people from the Black Hebrews, one belief, the what's it called, QAnon or whatever, and then the Proud Boys, and then Black Lives Matter, and you got so many. You got folks that don't even believe. They're saying that Jesus is a white man and the Bible is a white man's religion, and like, really? So we're gonna throw the baby away with the bathwater? Yes, the imperialistic era of Anglo-Saxons, Europeans, white supremacy, white domination, were not culturally sensitive enough and honest enough to depict, or at least expect, that we're intelligent enough to know that people from the Mediterranean don't have blonde hair and blue eyes as a whole, because you do have Lebanese to do that, but as a whole. But to help people to understand that it's not the package. Is it something we need to correct, Boo? It's not the package that the truth came in that was defrauded that changes the truth. So let's say, for an example, if I truthfully have, guys, help me think of what I can put in a package and somebody put the wrong label on it. If I truthfully have some ginger, ginger's a superfood. I love ginger. Try to eat it every day. And I got ginger in a package. And as the people were packaging, the company that was packaging the ginger, let's say they do ginger and they do turmeric and they do garlic. And somebody, I'm not going to even say made a mistake, because they didn't make a mistake. It was intentionally the way they depicted the imagery of Jesus, so that it could, same thing they did with the Peters projection map. For those of you that have followed me, the Peters projection map is a map that has been even today upheld as some of the highest learnings of institutions like Yale and Harvard. Forgive me. The Mercator map. The Mercator map that was established in 1569 was established by colonizers and by an imperialistic, white male dominated imperialistic colonizer who depicted the world that was skewed to show the countries in the northern hemisphere larger than the southern hemisphere, to depict Africa 4 times smaller than what she is. Some of you saying, Doc, what are you talking about? Just Google. You know, I'm a historian. Just Google the Peters projection map. It is a proper map that shows the world from its proper perspective, of its proper size, which is a fairness to all people. It is a map that is inclusive of all people groups. But the Mercator map, established in 1569, was 1569, 79. I haven't brushed up lately on that. But the Mercator map was established to depict Europe, Germany as the center of the world, when actually it's Africa, to depict Australia different size. China and India made it so much smaller than what it is when it dominates the population. The density of the population out exceeds any other 2 countries. And so that was done to misinform or disinform or to deceive a people to think that they were inferior when in act they were superior in numbers. So they labeled the map wrong, and people still are using that map today. It's crazy. So now let's use that as ginger, like intentionally putting a label on ginger, and trying to tell people it's putting a label of a pineapple on ginger. Well, now let's think about that. The label is wrong. The label is wrong. The image was wrong. The label is wrong. The label is wrong. I'm talking to my young people now. But does that change the ginger, Brandy? Does that change that it's really ginger in there? Does that change that it's Terry, that it's really ginger in that package? Rod, does that change that it's really ginger? Shauna, Demisha, does that change that it's really ginger? So the label was wrong, but is ginger still ginger? Second question, can ginger and does ginger still have the medicinal purposes, the medicinal benefits that ginger has? Yes, it does. It's still ginger. Somebody just labeled the ginger wrong. So what I'm saying to many young people, that I hope you're sharing this with your friends. Brandy, share this with your friends. Terry, share this with your friends. Shauna, Demisha, all of you. Shari, share this with your friends. T, share this with your friends. Rod, share this with your friends. As we look at the ginger, it still can do, I wish we could think of some of all the different things that ginger does, crazy things that ginger does. Just because the label's wrong, it doesn't stop it from being. Even so with the Son of God. The Son of God. He came to seek and to save those misdirected, to help be the direction. He came to be the grace. He came to be the empowerment. He came to be the mediator, the stand in the gap for sin. He came to be the one who purchases and redeems. And when you get it wrong, when you're off and you've blown it and you can't get yourself together, through his word, through his persona, through his power, he's a part of the Godhead. He's a part of the Godhead Trinity. He's a part of divinity who has been sent by God to help you get your messed up, crazy life together. And how do you do that? He wrapped himself up in flesh, but he was the Word made flesh. So every time you sleep on your Bible and sleep on getting in your word, you're sleeping on Jesus, who's right here saying, I'm trying to help you. I'm here to help you. I know the answers to the tests of life. Doesn't change him from being who he is. Doesn't change him from Messiah. Doesn't change him from the Savior of the world. Doesn't change him from being your rescuer. So now you jump on the bandwagon with everybody else. And so everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, and all these different narratives and all these different voices and narratives and voices and narratives and views and perspectives and voices and and Jesus remains the constant. It doesn't matter how many times, oh Lord, hibiscus went down my throat. We need to take, that's my hibiscus and ginger tea. It doesn't matter how much man tries to change what the label says. I think I just try to drink around it because I need the tea. Just hibiscus just went down my throat, guys. I guess hibiscus is saying, you talked about ginger, you ain't talk about me. It doesn't matter how much man tries to change what ginger is. Ginger is ginger. And no matter how man tries to annihilate or say, you know, this is white man's religion, you know, Jesus, you can tear down all the statues, they can do all of that. I can see a little bit of the frustration of like, this is not what's truth, because you could think that if you told me this was true and it's not, then maybe what's in the package is not true as well. And the reason why I'm a little more sensitive to understanding what they think is because I've been a missionary for coming up on 41 years now this year. And I've seen in other cultures that we've gone to an image, an imperialistic, colonialistic package of the gospel was taken where it did not represent the people in any way. So they threw away the gospel with the package. So I understand that. But one thing is a constant and will not change. He is the Son of God, and he's Lord, and he's the answer to every solution. Now, this brings me to where we are. I'm here because I will say it and proclaim it and proclaim it and proclaim it. Like yesterday, while we're in here transforming the house, got contractors coming in and out, and God providing every day what we need. It's so miraculous to see it. And you know, it's all kind of construction going on. And I don't know when I stepped on something. I had these little booties on my feet, didn't have on shoes, and something got in my foot, and I tried to pull it out, and Pam tried to pull it out, and Brandon tried to pull it out, but it's still something up in there. And every time I tried to step on it, it's like, and walk on that foot, even though I can't see it, I could feel that it's something on that foot. And I am reminded of the scripture that talks about a faithful servant. Like every time I tried to put my weight on that foot to walk on it, I couldn't, because of the pain, because of what's in there that's gotten in there that's not right, that's causing the pain. The Bible depicts it this way. I think it's in the book of Proverbs. It says, an unfaithful servant is like putting your weight on a foot that has a broken bone in it. And so when you try to put your weight on it, you can't, because it hurts, and it can't give you the support you need. Well, mine wasn't even a broken bone. Mine is just some little piece of maybe glass, metal, whatever. But the fact is, stay here, I couldn't put my weight on it. It couldn't support me. It doesn't support me like it normally would, because something's gone wrong in the foot. And that's exactly what's happening. There are people who think that things are going to return back to usual, and they're not paying enough attention. We're not listening. We're not paying enough attention to know what's going on in the head of those from, say, 13 to 40, 41. Why am I looking and making an emphasis of that age? Because they are leading. They will be leading. The only way we're going to turn around what we see that we don't like, everything that we see depicted today as far as values and views, were people who took the time to deliberately and intentionally focus, target, market that age group, to indoctrinate them to believe what they wanted them to believe so that they could get the outcome that they want, which is what Margaret Sanger did in 1920 and 21. She put a scheme in place, just like Willie Lynch, just like many others, just like communism and socialism and imperialism and all the other isms and schisms, that like Red China, like Mao Tse-tung, and like the Lenin, the Marxists, and all of them. They begin to indoctrinate that generation, a young generation, to believe and to bend their thinking in a particular direction, so that once it gets, as a man thinketh, so is he. Once it's in their head, it's just a matter of time before they act it out, and it transformed culture. Well, guess what? I believe that what we see depicted today, which is a result of what's been program. It appears that the voice of the programmers to change their culture, to change their thinking, is louder and more visible, or more positioned, or more strategic. Because let's face it, their position in media, position in social media, position in entertainment, position in politics, position in so many different places to keep infiltrated. Brandy and Yolanda was just showing me something yesterday about another particular artist that has come out, and I was particular lifestyle or whatever. And so all these, she has millions of young people following her. So a lot of young people are going to follow that. How can we proclaim truth without making it look like we're bashing people and we're haters and we don't hate, you're going to hell? And how can we model to this generation a biblical kingdom model and mandate when we're talking it only? When we're talking it only. When we're talking it only, that's like putting your weight. That's like them looking at us and expecting to put their weight on us, and it's a broken bone in the foot. It's not supported. It's not supported with corresponding action. It is not demonstrated. It's just talk. So since we say we are pro-life, what are we saying to them? Because this is that January the 6th, so you guys can follow me and think I'm not just all over the place. January 6th, on that particular day, when there was a raid on the Capitol and everything, I kept saying, what are they seeing? Go look at my post. What are we showing them? What are the young kids seeing when they turn on the news and they look at like, these are our leaders that we're supposed to follow? What are we saying? What are we proclaiming? So then it went from what are they saying and what are we saying to what are you saying? And if you don't get anything out of what I'm saying this morning with our time, I want you to, let's do 2 Corinthians 13:5. Let's examine our own self and ask, what are you saying? What am I saying? What am I doing? What am I leading? What am I modeling? So that's why we say, be the change, be the change, be the change you want to see. I'm talking to women to come and rally with me on March 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever those dates are for so. It's going to be different than any one that we've ever done. We've done some incredible ones and we've seen some incredible results, but oh, nothing like this one. This one is not only a think tank, baby. This one is a logistic plan, an action logistic plan with timelines and deadlines. And we're going to have this done by this date. I am believing by the month of March, by the end of the month of March, I know it seems unrealistic, that we'll have our first set of girls in here at least by March 31st. See, we're still doing construction. We still got major things to be done. But guess what? It's time to put up or shut up. And the hour requires, and there's a narrow window that I'm saying to everybody, why are you guys sleeping? Why y'all can't get it together? What's going on? What's going on mentally? Can you not see that on day one, things have been legislated and infiltrated and the plans have been put in place that's going to cause change. And it doesn't matter what side of the political persuasion you're on, because I've shared with you, and I'll make sure, Yolanda make sure, Brandy make sure, Val make sure that I actually go and give them the numbers tomorrow. I give you the actual numbers tomorrow concerning abortion and the Roe versus Wade. You're going to see how we have been completely hoodwinked. So you got these every 4 years, we decide which politician we're going to choose based on their position of pro-life, pro-choice, based on their position with Israel, based on their position with particular lifestyles. And instead of raising up the type of leadership that reflects, that already has the value, the value system of the biblical kingdom pattern. That's what they did with Eli and his sons. Hannah gave birth, cried out to God, stayed in the temple, stayed at the altar till God opened up her womb that he had shut. And she now was able to bring forth the transitional leadership for Israel through Samuel. So instead, suppose Hannah would have been like women today, just talk. No, Hannah said, I tell you what, let's make a deal. This is how serious I am about this. If you open my womb and give me a child, I'll give him back to you. And God says, that's exactly what I've been waiting on. You were frustrated. You were just completely just frustrated and just tired and God turned that frustration into sanctification and consecration. And Israel had a transitional leadership, that she gave birth to a child, that Israel was going to need a prophet that could hear from God and that could not be moved by outward appearance, because he would be the one that would go to Jesse's house and say, this is not the one. Don't you have another son? That's what she was carrying in her belly. Women, I'm asking you to come together with me in March and let's give birth to the kind of change we want to see. Let's give birth to the kind of leadership that we want to see. How do we birth the kind of leadership we want to see? I was hanging out with my friend Carolyn Kelly yesterday, and she literally takes homeless people into her home. She takes girls that are pregnant into her home. She's taken a baby that they left at the hospital from one of the young girls that she was mentoring. And the girl, when she walked away from the baby, told the people at the hospital, call this number, tell her to come and take my baby. And she was literally in a business meeting, a successful businesswoman. And then she told the hospital, as soon as I'm out of this building, I'm straight to the hospital. And there, this little Maya that we see, Maya would have been put in the system. Maya would have been put in foster care. How can you open up your mouth and talk about people and their lifestyle, who are the majority of people who are adopting our children, who are fostering our children? The system, they're in family court, they're family judges, family attorneys, and they are adopting and fostering and putting their principles into the mindsets of our children. But how dare you open your mouth and say anything when you're not willing to at least be what is the name of that program, Yolanda? Like big brother, big sister. We got a center here. You don't have an excuse. You can come here on a weekend and say, I'm going to spend time with these young girls. Not just the ones that are trying to determine what they're going to do about the unborn, but the ones that's trying to figure out what they're going to do about their sexual identity, trying to figure it out. And so you can't be some pious Pharisee and Sadducee because they're confused or that they lied. No, you got to be like Jesus. What would Jesus do? They're going to come with issues. You expected them to be like you. That means you got to work through the lies, work through the bipolar, work through the dysfunction, because many have been molested, many have been raped, many have been fondled. And so I just think, like, for me, I'm not even trying to be the type of woman in ministry that's got so many followers and real big. I've had the largest platforms that come in my time. I've been and shared the platform with the largest, the biggest ministers of our day. And when the conference is over and the crusade is over, you hear me, Yolanda? When the lights are off and the conference is over till it's time to do it again next year, what happens in the inner city? What happens in the grassroots level? What happens with getting in the lives of people, the true discipleship, inconveniencing yourself and getting in the lives of people and staying in their lives and walking with them until there's a change, laboring with them until there's a transformation. If we're not willing to do that, we're never going to see the change that we're praying and fasting for. So many people praying about revival, an awakening, a move of God. Well, I wonder what a move of God looks like to you. Guess what a move of God is going to look like in 2021? We got to push up our sleeves and not just talk the talk. Some of you got to be willing to share your time and share your house and share your whatever resources and sit down and teach young people how to budget and some young girls how to really keep a house clean and how to be a parent, and that you don't have to have 3 and 4 different babies by 3 and 4 different men. Sit down, baby girl. Let's sit down and talk. What's going on up here? What are you looking for? What happened? Who abandoned you? Get in there and not just talk the talk, but be the change we want to see. And until we're willing to do that, we're never going to see the kind of transformation that we're praying for, because faith without works is dead. A radical approach to save this generation. Got to push up our sleeves and get right out there in the gutter. On this weekend, I will be on Saturday in front of City Hall with Minister Scott. Thank God she connected. Sunday at 10:30, I will be proclaiming a message to uplift the homeless. I'm not trying to be a conference speaker at a conference or a major Zoom. No, I'm going to Zoom my butt in front of City Hall with the homeless, with the hurting. Just because they're homeless doesn't mean they're hopeless. And to feed them and to clothe them. And I woke up this morning with a strong Holy Ghost agitation saying, Father, where are the young people that are just as passionate about rescuing their generation as I am? I shouldn't be leading this charge. They should be leading this charge. Where are they? When Daisy Osmond came to me and it was my time to reach my generation, you go Jamaica. It was like nobody had to drag me and wake up and come on and read your Bible and come on and let's go reach out. No, there was an inward witness. There was a radical move, a change. Why are we running around here tearing down stuff and putting up cabinets and doing bedrooms and making sure plumbing and got to change our toilets and make sure all kinds of stuff to provide a safe house and a place that young people can come. And today we're going to go get that rocking chair that Rhonda Cozart paid for at Home Depot. And probably I'll start coming to you from that rocking chair. That we sit in that rocking chair like our grandmamas did and sit and listen and sit and listen and talk and say, guess what? Here's a different view. You don't have to abort that baby. There's enough women around here that will walk you through this. You don't have to go that lifestyle. What you're looking for can't be found there either. The girls that are rescued out of trafficking, you don't have to live with the guilt. It's not your fault. And it's time, in essence, to be the change we want to see. Why did Pharaoh and Herod go after every child 3 and under? Because he knew that the promise of change always comes in those newborn babies of a new emerging generation. So we are radically and intentionally and deliberate with compassion got to rescue as many babies as we can, because one of those unborn children could be the child with the solution to the challenges of the day. All it takes is one person, and that child could be that one person. I'm asking women, men, pastors, people, come and join me if you're in the Atlanta area in front of City Hall. Unbelievable how many homeless. Let's show them what our gospel is instead of preaching what our gospel is. And then those of you in the Atlanta area, reach out to me. If you're in the United States or wherever and you want to come down, there are women coming down this weekend, 3 women. One is coming from Winston-Salem, one is coming from Raleigh-Durham, and the other one is coming from Charlotte. And they got a plan together. They took a day off work and they're coming down to say, okay, Doc, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. We had some come from Alabama. There's one coming in from New York and saying, you know what? We will be the generation that will be the change we want to see and rescue this generation, because we refuse to embrace the policy of an organization that, when it was founded, its mission statement was to annihilate us, to get rid of us, that we were unfit, and that we're a menace to society. Why would I follow your narratives? Why would I follow your curriculum? I'm really going to close with this one. Get ready. I'm ready, guys. Tell me what I need to be telling them when I go out. I'm closing with this one. Putting my makeup on, getting ready this morning. And I'm thinking, looking in the mirror, what ethnicity of people, Pam, Yolanda, Brandy, would know that the enemy has put together a plot and a scheme, generational plot, a transgenerational plot and scheme to depopulate you as a people? I guess I can make it real plain if I do it this way. Hammond wanted to ethnic cleansing, genocide, wipe out the Jews, which is the same mandate over Iran today. And that would be like Hannah knowing that Hammond has openly said, Margaret Sanger openly said what her plan was for us as a people. And Esther aligning herself with Haman instead of aligning herself with Mordecai, who's saying we have to rescue our people. But she goes instead and aligns herself with Haman, who says, I'm going to kill your people. So Margaret Sanger and her organization openly said, this is our plan against you as a people. We will have abortion centers in your neighborhood. We will go to your leaders, your political leaders, and your pastors, your political leaders and your pastors, and get them to indoctrinate you on where this is good health for you. We're here for you. We're here in the neighborhood for you. We're here to help you. And now look at the results. Almost half of our population, 43% of the abortions in America, 43% of the abortions in America is an African American child at risk. We got to change that. We cannot be trapped in silence. And how do we do it? We really need to get to the young girl before she gets pregnant. And we're not stopping here now. We're going all the way with this. The ones that are confused about so many things. Intentional, deliberate, compassionate after this generation. I'm asking you to join me. I'm asking you to join me with other men and women that are saying, Doc, we're with you. Sometimes, guys, when you see me putting posts out there on Facebook, and it may be like a little letter wrong here or there, that's because I'm in the bed. It's in the night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, without my glasses. I maybe didn't go to bed with them beside my bed, and I'm hearing from God, and I'm going like, I gotta rescue this generation. There are women out here listening to me, and you know it's been a passion for you. You know you want to do something. You've wanted to do something about it. You wanted to do something about reaching this generation. You want to do something about you see the direction the young people are going. You see the direction this culture is going. You see the direction. You want to do something. And instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, let's work together. Who cares whose name is on it? Let's not put anybody's name on it. Let's say a cause for the kids. Come and join me. If God has given you a piece of the puzzle, you have a curriculum, you have a program, you have something that's working with parents and with leaders, and you have something with teen pregnancy. Hey, come and run it through here. Meet me here. And we're calling this not only our teen pregnancy center, it's another vision house, just like the one we just did in South Africa, because it's time to be the change we want to see. Now let me see who has ears to hear, and I can't wait to hear from you, because we can do this together. March the 4th, what are the dates for so? The 4th through the 7th. Ashton, are you able to put? You probably don't have anything. Ashton's back, guys. We're going to do a Zoom together. He faced death face to face. He was diagnosed and went through one of the severe cases of COVID. South Africa has a different type of strand of COVID than we have here in the United States. Those of you who've been following, you know that. He got the extreme severe case of it. He and his entire household. So, you haven't seen us much publicly and coming across on a broadcast level that we're used to doing it because he was out of pocket. But he's back. So, Brandon, if you can get him quickly the Soul Flyer. And I know it's probably too late to probably upload the Soul video, but boy, if we can get that Soul video playing right now, it would be great. Can you just go get it off of YouTube, the Soul video? March the 4th through the 7th, let me talk very briefly about Soul. We've literally discounted the price. We want women to come and be a part. It's not going to be a dialogue, even only a think tank like before, but a logistical game plan. We're calling it a game plan that we're going to hit the ground day one. Day one. Literally executing things that's going to bring a change. There is a way to transform a culture. There's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. And you know what? I'm kind of satisfied right now with my church or my congregation being the homeless, my congregation being those on Skid Row, my audience and my congregation being young girls that are trying to decide what they're going to do about their life and the life of their unborn child. My congregation or my audience being girls that have been rescued out of human trafficking. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I've already experienced being on the cover of Charisma magazine and prime time on TBN and the Word Network and I've been on Daystar. I mean, you name all these platforms, this conference, that conference. And you know what? This is my legacy years now, to leave a legacy, to say that me, my sisters, my brothers, we pivoted the times and we put our compassion where our mouth is. So if we got the video there, did you get it, Brandy? Oh, you can't hear me. Okay, I guess we may have to have it. You know what? If Terry would go ahead and throw it up on Facebook, those of you guys can see it on Facebook. We'll start like normally we have the video showing. What about the Soul Flyer? We'll be ready tomorrow, guys. He's back, and it's an internet problem with being able even to talk to him. But you can go to our website, and it's on the website, right, Yolanda? And which is patriciabailey.org. You want to be a part of so. Some of you will want to even come here. We have 34 beds here, and it's enough distancing where you could be here. But at the same time, we're going to be doing it online, and our Teen Pregnancy Center will be up and going by then. Also, too, we have the children's books. Oh, guys, help me out. The children's books, again, they're endeavoring to teach and infiltrate into the lives of our children that a belief and a teaching that does not reflect for those of us that are believers and embrace the principles of the Bible. We believe that God chose who we are before we were ever born. So we have a book, I'm Glad God Made Me a Girl. And when I do that right, it changes everything, the camera. I'm Glad God Made Me a Girl, and I'm Glad God Made Me a Boy. And our new book, which we're soon going to be able to have on the screen for Ashton to show to you, our African-American patriots, so the children can grow up not hating our country, but knowing we had just as much of a contribution with very significant battles that were won, not just our white Americans, our Latino Americans, our first Americans, our first First Nation were very instrumental and strategic. And so Latinos, First Nation, African American, First Native, and first they say now the new political thing is First Nation now. They've changed it from Native. First Nation, First Nation, Latino, and our white brothers and sisters, and then us as well. We all collectively were a part of this wonderful nation that God has graced us with that we call America. So again, we're going against the grain on what the enemy is endeavoring to do to bring lawlessness and anarchy to this generation, and not just talking it, but having tangible things. So you can get the books off of the website. You go and you can order it at patriciabailey.org. The proceeds go to the Teen Center and to our Vision House in South Africa, where we're rescuing young babies over there as well. We are child advocates. Child advocacy is our whole passion. And so don't forget about Soul. You want to be a part of the team of women that are coming together online. Can't wait to hear from you. You can call us at the office, 336-917-2630. Or you can text me so you can get all the information that I keep passing out. And some of you may want to know about the Peters projection map. If you text me, I'll get that to you as well. And that text number for me to give you information is 310-347-4524. And you just text yes, giving me permission to send you the information. Then also you can, for those online, you can actually, we have an online phone that we use. This 336-782-1228. If you just want to chat with me and some different information from that phone line, I'm able to call you back. So until tomorrow, this is Dr. Pat, and I don't see why people don't know I'm coming on, because I keep ending it by saying, till tomorrow, we'll be right here. Same place, same window of time. We're going to try to hit you around 7, though, earlier. 7 every morning. So my team, Hear Thee My Words, will be here at 7 tomorrow. And Ashton, I have the videos and all those things ready to be able to show you our upcoming soul video. But it is already on my Facebook page. I think I saw this morning that Terry already has it out there. I love you guys. And with all that is within me, can we begin to get this in our mind? What worked in the last season, the effort, the strategies, the methods of ministry for that era of time, there is going to be a different, and we are having to be innovative and different. A large, and perhaps the largest audience will not be in the 4 walls of the church. They're going to be, and they are, and have always been, in the streets and online, where the people are. We can't wait for them to come to us. The Bible tells us for us to go compel them to come. So I'd love to team up with you, and I can't wait to hear from you. Till tomorrow, it's Dr. Pat. See you tomorrow.